All right, so today I'm joined by Joaquin Buckley. He's coming off a knockout win over Andre Fialho at
You're
UFC
correct.
Vegas 73. So I wanted to talk to him about it. A couple things before we get started is he had an impressive call out. He wants to take on the entire Killcliff team. They got a lot of
Yeah,
welterweights over there. He
yeah,
just dropped down to 170. So we're gonna
yeah.
talk all about it. But how does it feel to get that win, man? It was you were in a tough spot a little bit, which we'll get into, but you got a
That's
big
100.
one on at
Yes,
UFC
sir.
Vegas 73.
Yeah, like you said, man, we was in a tough spot, man, but we definitely got a good victory within Andre Fialho, man, who was a tough opponent himself, you know what I mean, for me. Somebody that also goes out there, man, and bang, is a good finisher, you know. So for me to get this win at 170, man, with who I got it against, bro, I feel good about it.
Yeah, and this is actually like the second big change in your career. I read about it that you kind of changed your name to New Mansa, and that's when you got a lot of momentum going. And then recently, this is the second big change. You just dropped down to 170 pounds. So,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
was the cut? And then, how are you looking at how your future is going to play out now that you made this big change?
I don't know, man. I think that fight, that first performance, spoke a lot, not just to people, but to even to myself. You know what I mean? That I'm gonna be a problem at 170. You know, because we didn't have like a practice cut to see how everything was gonna go. You know, so even if I could make the weight, how was my body gonna respond? You know, after the fight and everything of that nature. So you know, for me to go out there, man, and do what I did, and for me not to lose any like, I wouldn't say momentum, but like lose any like my conditioning. You know what I mean? So I wasn't tired throughout that whole fight. You know, I feel like if we went into the third round, like I'll probably be fighting at the same pace still. You know, while other guys they slow down after the first round. So you know, I really feel like this the move for me, and the momentum is just on my side right now.
Okay, cool. So you must really not have been cutting much weight then, since you still feel like after dropping down 15 pounds, you got all that energy still.
Exactly. So I mean, we did it right, man. So we did increments of five, you know,
Okay.
just working our way down, you know what I mean? So I was like, every week I want to end up here, or like, you know what I'm saying? Next week I want to end up here. So I just had it charted, you know? So a lot of guys, they'll cut 15 in that one day or that one night, you know? I'm good off of that, you know? So literally we had cut probably 5, 6 pounds
Okay.
the day before weigh-ins. Yeah.
Okay, that shit's easy then. A little
Yeah, that
hour
was
in the
good money.
sauna or
It
something
was
like
good
that,
money.
45 minutes.
Yeah. So no sauna. Just worked it off. We
Oh,
literally
okay.
just worked out. We worked out because even though you know we did a couple sauna workouts, whatever. The last one for the actual weight cut, we didn't do any sauna or hot baths. Nothing. We just worked the weight off. You know what I'm saying? And be honest with you, it was better because I actually felt like I was working my conditioning as well because I was depleted at that point. I'm still cutting weight. I still don't have much in my body, but for me to be able to still move and be active, it speaks a lot in the position that I am because a lot of guys couldn't do that. You know,
Yeah.
if they had like 2, 3 pounds left, they couldn't move, you know, so they would have to actually sit down, lay down somewhere. As of me, I'm hitting the bag, I'm running, I'm using the bike, you know. So I feel like it puts me in not only just a physical shape, but also mentally, you know what I mean, puts me in a good position because
Yeah.
I'm
So it's,
doing something that I know they not doing.
yeah, and then probably gives you confidence knowing that because I'm sure all the guys want to work out the weight or like work off the weight by hitting pads and
No,
stuff,
they don't. No, they
but they're
don't.
probably
No, they don't. If
exhausted,
they
huh?
wanted to. So if I wanted to lay around and do it, I could, you know.
Okay.
But I forced myself, and even my coach forced me. You know what I mean? He's like, "No, we gonna work it off." And trust me, like I'm hurt. You hear me? Trying to hit
Yeah.
the bag, I'm hitting it soft to the motherfucker, like because I'm not working off anything. Everything is going. So the only thing that's feeding me is or flaming me is my spirit, you know, and my mind to keep going, to keep pushing. So a lot of guys they don't want to do that. They
Gotcha.
rather
So it
just
gives you
lay
that mental
down and pray that
fortitude.
this weight just comes off. Uh huh.
Yeah. All right. So you got that win. How did it feel to be at welterweight? Because you've been fighting bigger guys, and you were saying like this is gonna show like your skills here because now you're with guys who are your same size. So is it
Well, I
almost
mean,
like
I don't know how much you did your homework, but I was 8-2 as a welterweight. You know what I'm
correct?
saying?
Yeah.
For the longest time.
Yeah.
Um, so when I moved up to 185, it was just only because of opportunity. After I got cut from Bellator, I lost to Logan Storley, who was also, you know, one of the Killcliff guys. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Uh, After I lost to him, I got cut from Bellator. You know, and since I got cut, didn't nobody want to fight me on the regular regional shows. You know, so just the regular like promotions like Shamrock, you know what I mean? FAC, you know, WXC, like nobody wanted to fight my ass. So I had to move up and take an opportunity at 185 with LFA versus Chris Harris. and
Okay.
knocked his ass out in a minute. I felt good about it. You know what I mean? So I just like, hey, bro, I don't have to cut no weight. I got all my power here. These guys are slow. They kind of whack too. You know what I mean? Because like the bigger the weight class, like the less the skills. You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
their attributes and their athleticism or their strengths is what put them in position to knock your ass out. You know.
Yeah. I hear you.
So, but regardless though, like I was only fighting at 185 for opportunity. So now we back home at welterweight, and I really feel like all the things I've been dealing with at 185 has prepared me for what's to come at 170. So we definitely gonna be a problem for a lot of guys.
Yeah, that's facts. And, 170's got a couple big guys. You're calling out Ian Garry, but like I said, you've already fought those bigger guys at 185. So
Man,
how are
yeah,
you
that
viewing
them
this Ian
skinny
Garry
boys,
fight?
them skinny boys, them slim, hey, them slim Jims. Them slim Jims to me, boy. You know what I mean? So and like I said, it prepared me to fight guys like this, like Ian Garry, Shavkat Rakhmonov, even Kevin Holland, even though he was my first fight in the UFC, like preparation to just fighting those bigger guys like Antonio Arroyo, Jordan Wright, and now actually having a team, right? Because when I fought Kevin Holland, I was by myself. Literally, I think I got the only story where a motherfucker was literally by himself in the UFC. You hear me? Like, and what I mean by that is like I ain't had no corner, I ain't had no coach, I ain't had nothing there. I just like was like, shit, bro, I'm just ready to fight. You
What
know,
happened to your team at that point, though?
I ain't had no team. Like, so what? Look, I got this on right now. It's called Solid Foundation. You
Yeah.
see these two bricks? They
Uh-huh.
represent the boys that was around me. This is my man Edric, my man Max, and my man Ryan Sutton. These were my foundation when I was training. Three
Okay.
guys. So my man Ryan Sutton, he did go with me to corner me, but he caught COVID, so they kept him away. You know what I mean? But that was the only person that was with me. So literally had to reach out to my my management, Brian, to get one of the guys who was also a client of his named Kai Kamaka, because we fought on the same card in LFA. And then
Yeah.
a week later, I ended up getting signed with the UFC. So I ain't even had time to prepare for Kevin Holland.
It was only,
Not
yeah,
even
because you
7
took it a
days, not
week.
even 7
Yeah.
days, like literally just a week. You know what I mean? So they gave me the call, give me the opportunity, blase. But my man Ryan Sutton, he popped for COVID, so they keep him behind. We reach out to Kakamaka. He corners me in my fight, but you know, I don't know my dude like that. He don't know me like that. You know what I mean? So we just really kind of just having each other be right there, just to be right there. But in that fight, I just didn't have the preparation to, you know what I mean, actually have the goals to win
Yeah.
against Kevin Holland. So with all that being said, it's just like now that I got everything that's in place and I'm not worried about anything, it's just like I feel like everything is in place for me to be a winner and undefeated at this weight class at 170. Ian Garry ain't fought nobody for real. You know, no disrespect to him. I think he's a very talented fighter, but just when I look at the guys that he has fought, it don't impress me. Shavkat Rakhmonov, now that's a killer. Now that's somebody I really do respect for his abilities, but at the same time, I know that I can knock out any motherfucker that's standing in front of me. And who else did I call out? Oh yeah, Vicente Luque. I don't think I'd be a good matchup for him. You know what I'm saying? I think I really F him up just like Jeff Neal did, if not worse.
Gilbert.
What's some other names? What's some other names I gave? Oh, Kevin
Gilbert.
Lee. Gilbert Burns. Oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
But like I said, Gilbert gonna be ducking until I get a number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's only respectful. I can only respect that because I got work to do. So once I knock out 3 of his boys, then he gotta holler at me. Pick your mans up. You know what I mean? So this is what we looking for. And the reason why I picked Killcliff is because they got the best 170 fighters in the world. So it's not like a disrespectful call out. You know, I want to challenge myself. I think I'm one of the best fighters in the world. You know, and I want to be able to prove that by fighting the best in the world. You understand? So yeah, it's just that time. It's just that time, man.
All right. So it looks kind of almost like you got it mapped out too. Like you're probably looking for
Oh,
Ian
I
Garry
always got,
first.
I always map my shit up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then cause I feel like if they don't give me, and that's sad because how I call out a whole team and then don't nobody answer.
It's crickets.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of 170s that didn't say shit. They call that boy their brother, you know I'm talking about, Andre Fialho.
Yeah.
You know, and then I call out the whole team and don't nobody want to, you know what I'm saying, redeem my man's honor, you know? If anybody did my teammate like that and then called out the team, I'd be the first one to raise my hand. Even if that motherfucker wasn't ranked, I'd be like, bro, no, you can't slide with that, bro. You know, so, but regardless, though, it is what it is. I got some other names in mind as well, you know. But I'm going to keep that on wraps, though, and talk to my man. Yeah.
So basically somebody needs to come through and avenge Andre's loss, huh? That's what needs to happen.
You think they would? You think they would?
I think
Damn, you know what
I
I'm
would
saying?
think they would.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let them handle that. You know, they having meetings right now at Killcliff. You know what I mean? Like, all right,
Yeah.
who's gonna take this fight?
I think it's a great. I was gonna say that I don't know why they're kind of ignoring your call out, because you got the most viral knockout in MMA history. Nobody has a bigger knockout than you across all the promotions. So it's a miss on their
So
part if they're not gonna pick up
so
this fight.
knocking me out or beating me because I'm such an easy fighter to beat. You
Yeah.
understand? I'm just saying what everybody else saying. You know, I'm whack as hell. My chin is suspect. You know what I mean? The weight depleted me, all this other shit. So my power ain't there. Then hey, let me find out. You know what I'm saying? Let me find out that I ain't as good as that I claim. You know, because
Yeah.
I'm willing to back up what I say at all times.
Yes, sir. So, all right. Just to go back a little bit, that you had that after you got the win, you did a couple viral things. You got that prime bottle, you poured it over your head, you went into the camera, people were hating on
Yeah, it
that a
was a
little
lot of
bit.
moments in that one. It was a
Yeah,
lot of
did you
moments
get
there.
you hear from Logan Paul at all?
Actually, I did, man. He shot me a DM, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that was chill as hell, and he reposted the video. You know, but yeah, we in talks, man. So we'll see what's going on. We'll
Okay,
see.
for sure. And
Yeah.
have you heard anything from management? I know that, it's been crickets, but is there any talks or literally crickets?
All straight up crickets right now. So we
Yeah.
don't know. I want to fight in Boston. Period.
You
You
want to fight
know,
in Boston?
I want to fight. So if it ain't Ian Garry, which it should be Ian Garry, right? Ian
Yeah.
Garry needs to be there. You know, that's the fight made for him is Boston. But regardless, if I don't fight him, then they gonna just have to find me somebody else. So it's all good. But I'm fighting. I'm fighting Boston. Fuck that. I'm gonna be
Okay,
there.
so you're fighting in Boston. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
also want to go back a little bit more too, because you mentioned how you didn't really have a corner with Kevin Holland and all that stuff,
yeah,
and you took the fight on a week's notice.
yeah.
But then after that was when you had the most pivotal point in probably your entire life, where you got
Yeah,
that big
bro. Yeah, I
knockout.
was hungry, man. I don't know. It's just something about me. Like, you think that would have been motivation enough? I think with like the Kevin Holland and me being signed, but it's just like it's something crazy about this. Like me taking a loss, I bounce back a little harder all the time. You know,
Hmm.
like even when Chris Curtis beat me, that was my first time I ever lost back to back. My first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then yet again, like I never thought I could train harder than what I've been training, and I've always been able to amaze myself. You know, and I don't know if people can tell or people can see, but like everybody like, man, why can't he be getting tired? But look at the pace that I continue to put on. You know, I don't
Yeah.
think there's any other fighter that puts on my pace. And I'll be respectful, like not Kamaru Usman or Kobe Covington. Like they got great grappling, but even with their striking, like they slow down, you know, and they don't throw with the same type of not only volume but power that I throw with. Every punch that I throw, every kick that I throw can knock a motherfucker out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
While a lot of those other guys, they pot shot, you know. And I really feel like my condition is some of the best in the world. And like I would love to prove that with anybody who want to get a workout in. You know what I'm saying? Want to be on some fit shit. Like, you know what I mean? We can get it down.
All right. Well, hey, fucking maybe I could come through. We could shoot some content sometime, and you could
Hey, I'll be
you could
there. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
get me in shape. Show me the
Yeah, yeah,
ropes.
yeah, 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 man. But you gotta be about that light though, man.
All
You
right,
hear
I'm
me?
about that life.
Yeah, yeah,
I've done
yeah.
jujitsu, but I don't do much striking. So, but I
Okay,
wrestled in
I
high
got
school and shit. So I could, I think I could hang
you.
a
Okay,
little
you can
bit.
hold your own. That's what you're trying to say. You can hold your own. I feel
Yeah,
you.
I could
Hey,
try. I could
respect that.
try. Yeah,
Hey, man, I respect that. Humble with it. You know what I'm saying?
of course, bro.
Uh, but yeah, man, like I said, bro, I just really feel like, man, I'm one of the best in the world, you know. And a lot of people trying to make fun, a lot of people trying to talk shit, but hey, at the end of the day, man, I'm the one that's trying to show up and show out. Where the other
Yeah,
motherfuckers at? You know what I mean? And everybody talking about Hamzat, that motherfucker ain't fought since I don't know when. You know what I mean? I done
yeah,
fought down there 4 times before he fought. Like, so my thing is who the real ones that's just talking and who are the ones that's actually trying to go out there and prove something. And I'm out there trying to prove something.
yeah. And that's one of the things I respect about you is that win, lose or draw, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna put on a show, you're gonna sell your fight. And
That's
that's
it,
one of the
bro.
things I admire about you. And Ian
I
Gary is the
appreciate it.
same way. So that's why I
He
think
is
it's
the
a great
same way. I
fight.
gotta,
Yeah,
but like I said though, he ain't fought nobody like me yet. You
yeah.
know? So respect that you undefeated. I respect what you've been able to do and what you're capable of doing. But you run into a motherfucker like me, like I said, bro, you know, you don't want to leave your chin exposed, period.
Hmm.
You know,
And
so
so, but that knockout over Impa, right? Was when you got did you get a team at that point? And was that why you're able
yeah,
to
so
deliver a
so
crazy knockout and shit?
funny enough, yet again. So I was alone,
Oh
right?
shit.
So this is a story. This is a
Yeah.
quick story, real quick. All right. But when I lost to Kevin Holland, I still had the same people around me. Boom. Didn't
3
nobody have
bricks.
a passport. Didn't nobody have a passport at the time, right? So the team that reached out to me a long time ago, but I ain't had no money, I ain't had no bread at the time, you know what I mean? Was this guy named Joaquin Lago. You know, one of the guys that I know here from St. Louis, he used to write articles and stuff like that. And he had reached out to me on Facebook named Muskin. And he was just talking about like, hey man, just been trying to follow your career. What's going on? This is before I got signed to the UFC, right? This is before I even had an LFA fight. So he reached out to me. He was like, man, how you doing? I was like, man, I'm doing good. I'm straight. Blase, blase. He was like, man, I really feel like there's a good team that you need to link up with out of Michigan. I'm like, I bet. Turned out it was Joaquin Lago. You know, he reached out to me. He talked to me for a couple minutes, whatever. I was like, hey, man, I wish I could reach out to you or get back to you, but I ain't got no way out there. So he's like, don't worry about it, man. You know what I mean? Let's just stay in contact. So we stay in contact all the way up until I get into the UFC and I fight Kevin Holland, right?
Yeah.
I get the call for Impa Kasanganay out, and actually it was supposed to be Abu Zatar. But that punk ass motherfucker pulled out because he had a toenail infection, bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? So he pulled out the fight. So they end up rescheduling it for Impa Kasanganay. So I'm like, I bet. But none of my guys that I knew had a passport. And when I called coach, he was like, my shit just expired. But he said, hold up though. I got 2 other guys that are out there in Abu Dhabi right now for my homeboy, Dequan Townsend. And they was cornering him. So it was Michael Gilmore and Justin Hardy, who were both my coaches now. And I was like, I bet. I just need somebody out there. So literally when I flew out to Vegas, I was by myself. When I flew out there to Abu Dhabi, I was by myself. I stayed in the hotel by myself. And then I met these 2 guys who ended up helping me in the Impa Kasanganay fight. And we went viral. And then that's how they became my team after that. Because, you know, they just kept their word. Because if they did not pretty much take the time out to actually corner me, that moment would have never happened.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? That
and how did you exactly
I never
meet
would have
those
been able to
guys?
go out there with no corner.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So
And how did you exactly meet those guys? I can't tell if
I
you
didn't
mentioned
meet.
it.
Are you talking about like Michael and Justin Hardy out
Yeah,
there
the
in
2
Abu
guys
Dhabi?
who stayed with you.
Yeah. So I just met them literally at the hotel at the
Oh shit.
Wide World Hotel when I was out there in Abu Dhabi. That's how I met them. So I didn't even know them at the time. So we got to know each other while we was out there, and they was hella chill. And
Okay.
we family now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my family now. Like I literally was staying with Justin Hardy, you know, not that long ago. You know, so for like a year, I stayed with my man in Michigan.
Okay. That's dope. And I
Yeah.
actually had another question off of that, which was like leading up to the fight. And it kind of sounds like this might have been it. But leading up to the fight, was there anything that had happened maybe the week of it that was like coincidental where like looking back in hindsight, you're like, this happened before during fight week? And it's like not surprising that I delivered this crazy KO. Like were things going your way leading up to it in a sense, or anything that stands out?
Oh, you talking about like my last win that I had?
No, with Impa, just because that was such an
Oh,
important win, was there
yeah.
like a coincidence anywhere like leading up to it that kind of stood out where it's like, yeah, this was a special camp in a sense that led to the
Uh,
knockout?
I don't know, man. That's a good question. So, I wouldn't say there was any type of particular moment where I just knew, but I write in my journal a lot. You know, that's one thing a
Mm,
lot of people don't know about me. I write a lot. And one thing that I didn't do for the Kevin Holland fight was write.
mm,
You know, I didn't write like the story of me getting into the UFC and and just journaling how I felt or what I thought was gonna happen. So I do that for every fight, you know what I mean? And that's the one I did for Impa, and I was able to create that moment, you know. And I told myself in that journal, I didn't say that I was gonna do a spinning back kick and you know what I'm saying, go viral. I didn't put none of that, but I told myself that I was gonna change my life that day. That's what I told myself,
yeah, and that
and that's what I
happened.
did, and that literally happened. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
crazy, man.
that was the moment, I guess. If that was one, that probably be it right there.
Okay, gotcha. So you look back at that after it'll happen, and you're like,
Yeah,
shit, I told
I
myself
still
I
got the
changed my
journal.
life.
I still got the journal.
Yeah, that's dope. So
Yeah, crazy.
I actually been doing that too, and I learned that what I kind of do from somebody I heard. I write about like 3 things I'm grateful for, 3
Yeah,
things to get done in the day, and then
yeah,
3 things in the future, like
yeah,
things that already you kind of write it as if it happened. Like I'm
yeah.
happy that my fight went well and I changed my life, right? So how do you like to journal?
So the way I go about it, man, I just like to write about what I think is gonna happen, like you said before. You know what I mean? Trying to actually pin down what my destiny is. You understand? Instead of just hoping that something great will happen, I make sure I manifest it. So, you know, I literally just try to predict whatever might happen in the moment. But this is the crazy part, right?
Yeah.
So I also journal for my Alessio fight, right? And sometimes the pen is so strong, it might not even go the way that you actually think. So when I was writing down for the Alessio fight, obviously my mind, I'm the winner.
Yeah.
But the scenario that I wrote down, I told myself when I knocked Alessio out, that I was going to be humble with it. I won't boast. That I would get on my knees and I will pray to God, whatever, you know what I mean, and everything just to have. But guess what though? The opposite happened. Alessio knocked me out, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what he did. He
Mm.
didn't boast about it. He didn't even talk about it. Like I remember in this interview, he was like, they was like, yeah, you want to talk about the knockout? He's like, no, I don't even want to talk to y'all. No, you good. He was like, I don't even want to talk to y'all because y'all didn't talk to me last time, and all these little different things. So me, I literally wrote all that down, but instead of me being the winner, it was Alessio. But he did everything that I wrote down. Like the shit crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like,
Yeah, it is. I think I forget which fighter it was, but one fighter was talking about sending someone home in a stretcher in the press conferences and stuff,
oh,
and then
Conor
he ended
McGregor,
up being the one. Yeah,
Conor McGregor.
and
Yeah,
he ended
man.
up being the one.
Words is a powerful thing, man.
Yeah, that
Yes,
shit's
sir.
powerful.
Hey, but man, my phone finna die right now, man. But hey, bro, this was a dope interview, fam.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Hey,
bro, you just got some exclusive shit I ain't never told nobody. You know what I
hell
mean?
yeah.